Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Azabi here, back again with My Hero Academia Season 5. We are on episode 10, and in the last episode, we started match 4, ended match 4, and started match 5. All in one episode. And yeah, Bakugo heading up that team and just, basically a no bullshit run. It was just, if I'm in trouble, save me, and if you're in trouble, I'll save you. And that's all it was. And they just overpowered Class 1B in that match. It was such an amazing sight to behold, and I'm so happy with it. Flawless victory, 4-0, absolutely amazing. So now we go into the last match, which is a big one, and I don't know. I don't know how this I don't know how this is going to turn out, because on one hand I'm thinking that Class 1A's team for this one, I don't know. I feel like Mineta, Mina, and Ochako, they would have to kind of step up here and surprise me a bit, because I feel like they are not confident in themselves. They're looking to Deku to basically win them the match. That's pretty much how it started at the end of the last episode. Like, they weren't confident at all, and similarly to just before match 4 had started, Bakugo had that extreme amount of confidence that actually sort of, it got me confident as well in him. So similarly with this one, it's done the complete opposite. You know what I mean? It's made me feel that, fuck, well, I'm not very confident then. And realistically, are we going to get Deku basically one man all of them? I don't know. And then there's the whole Vestiges thing, how is that going to come into play? Because obviously they've been talking about it, and it's going to come into play, I feel like, again, as this is it happened, the first time it ever happened was against Shinso. So they've laid the sort of the foundation for this idea that it's going to crop up in this match at some point. And the fact that Deku cannot control that means that if he doesn't have full control over his quirk, then how is he going to outdo the other team? I also the other thing to take into account is Shinso, because they were talking about in the last episode that this match determines whether or not he gets moved into the hero course. Now, it wasn't specifically stated that means he needs to win, but I'm just thinking okay, so that I don't know. This one's a tough one to call, because I'm not confident in Deku's teammates, and he can't control the Vestiges side yet. So I feel like we could be on for a loss here. But then it's just with Bakugo having such a dominating performance, he kind of set it up to Deku to be right, now let's see what you can do. You need to step up and do it now. And I just feel I don't know. This is a tough one to call. The other thing that really caught me off guard last episode was the idea that Monoma seems to think that Deku's quirk is going to be a blank, and I don't know why he would think that. I don't know how he's determined that would be the case, because surely the only way you're going to know is by trying it, and I'm pretty sure he hasn't tried. So I don't know where he's gotten that information from, but I mean, surely it's something that needs to be at least tried, right? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, so I think we are just going to get an episode 10 right now. So as always, the reaction will be here on YouTube, but if for whatever reason it gets taken off for copyright in the future, I will re-upload this as a discussion-only video, and the link to the reaction will be in the description below. And as always, the link to the full-length reaction is in the description below as well, so if you do want to watch my full-length reaction to this episode and not just the cut 10-minute version, then the offer is there for you. But yes, nothing else to really talk about, so we're going to get an episode 10, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go.
It's number 1541. He's fidgeting.
That started yesterday. You know
What's
that
this?
Chaplin
Is
quote,
this
one murder makes you a villain, millions a hero.
all for
Wasn't
one?
he the bad guy in that movie?
We've seen how people can flock to evil. We don't know how many sympathizers he may have hiding in the world. So right now, we need to make sure we don't accidentally provoke any of them.
These breakouts going to be imminent, isn't it?
It's just that the memories are causing my body to throb with pain.
Oh, it's affecting him as well?
I can hear my little brother's voice.
What?
You asked me about the Vestiges of One for All earlier, if Shimura had ever mentioned anything about them. I did remember something that might end up being
I had the weirdest dream last night.
Really?
Yeah, a shadowy figure stood in front of me. He stared me straight in the eyes before saying this. The time has not yet come.
Class B has Shinso on their side. Once he's in play, my team won't be able to talk much.
Yep.
Ever since I was a kid, I heard the same thing on repeat. There's no way you can be a superhero with a quirk like that.
Oh, here we go. They're splitting
Sometimes
up.
we have to embrace our darker sides to survive. I really like you, Shinso, honestly. When you brainwashed Midoriya at the sports festival, how did you get him to talk to you?
I didn't know it would provoke him, so I insulted his classmate.
When you consider Midoriya's team, the distribution of power is comparable to that of the last round.
Yeah, our team did have a similar spread, but they don't have a Jiro.
Yep, they're missing a solid scouter.
Which means they'll have to move way more carefully than we did.
First, I'll get out in the open so they target me. Since I'm the fastest one on our team, our opponents will want to focus on taking me out.
Alright, okay. He wants to focus their attention.
Here goes.
Okay. This must be, yeah, Poltergeist. I figured that might have been...
Monoma!
Oh, shit! No, of course, because he's...
Did you find me?
He copied her
What a
quick.
shocker. Anyone with an ounce of cleverness would want to be careful of someone who's not only strong, but incredibly agile. But isn't that too obvious? Someone even wiser might choose a different route. But why not crush your other three first? Thanks for being so flashy and telling us where you were.
Didn't expect it would go that route.
The rest of Class A's hopeless combatants already.
He's egging me on, trying to get me to talk.
That's a good point as well.
He copied Shinso's brainwashing.
Is this how long he can use that quirk for?
If I were you, they likely need help.
They played
Wait, hold on.
the mind games.
What if the scream just now was Shinso's voice modulator at work? If that's the case, you'd be leading us straight to the rest of your classmates who aren't actually in trouble.
It's smart. It's smart.
What a predicament.
It's not a bad trick, but I'm not gonna fall for it.
Release! That scream earlier.
It wasn't either of us.
Hey, I caught something!
Acid tail!
Shit. I like what they're trying to do there.
Lost some. Was it a hit?
Class B, Reiko Yanagi. Hero name, Emily.
Use them as...
Poltergeist. She can manipulate objects around her, but the total weight can't be more than roughly that of an average person.
And she can shrink.
Yui Kodai. Hero name, Rule.
All of
Or
that quirks are
size.
interlinking.
She can change the size of the stuff she touches. It doesn't work on living things, though.
So she can't shrink herself over others. That negates the poltergeist, really. Doesn't it?
Fire!
Oh, fuck. Alright, never mind.
Class B, Nerengeki Shoda. Hero name, Mines. Quirk, Twin Impact. After he hits a target, he can cause a second impact remotely. This follow-up strike is many times more powerful than the first one.
Okay.
I had a lengthy conversation with Shinso earlier about how those blessed with power destroy society. You're frenemies with Bakugo, right? How can he smile like he doesn't have a thing to worry about when he let himself get abducted? And because he wasn't able to take care of himself, the symbol of peace is gone!
Deku's looking like that. Oh shit.
Is this the moment he foretold?
Oh shit. Oh god. Oh god.
Seriously? A brand new power?
What's going on?
I have no idea.
Fine until just now.
Fuck. Oh my god. He could kill him. What the fuck, man?
Get out of here. It's too much.
I wonder if Shinso will try to help out. Maybe.
Exploding out of me.
Maybe that's how he gets into the hero course. Maybe he doesn't win, but
I don't recognize that.
they might call it off. I don't know. What the fuck is happening right now? This is mad.
It hurts. Why?
You have to stop this match.
Call it off.
Something's wrong.
After all might transferred one for all to me, I kept getting hurt because I didn't know how to use it. Stop it! No more! I was finally getting it under control.
Now
I was just getting started.
Can't feel good.
We're all get it together.
Oh God!
Deku, please calm down.
This is not good, you know. Fucking Jesus.
When I was growing up, my mom and dad always looked tired. It hurt me to see them so wiped out. That's why the first time I saw a hero on the street, I was more excited about the way bystanders and my parents reacted than anything else. I just loved to see how happy everybody looked. I've watched Deku fight desperately to help those in need, and it's made me wonder. You gotta calm down! Protects the heroes. Run! Get his quirk's out of control!
I don't know how you. I don't know how. Yeah! Use. Yes! This is how we do it! This is perfect! Because it'll put him under a state of, like, unconscious, right?
I was excited to show you how much I've improved. Fighting you again was something I looked forward to. I want to become an upstanding hero and use my quirk to help others.
This is it, this is it, this is your chance, dude.
Victoria!
Talk back, talk back!
Stop playing around and fight me!
Nice! Perfect. Very good, very, very good. Force him unconscious. I don't know what's going to happen when he comes back, though.
You got it wrong! Dang it! Didn't we tell you? You're not alone out there. You gotta start thinking more. From now on, you can't use your power casually.
Of course, this guy would be like that.
Kid? That's freaky. Whatever, don't sweat it.
These predecessors are somehow living inside of One for All.
The power you just shot out of you was originally my quirk.
Interesting.
Maybe I should explain a bit. Our individual quirk factors mixed in with the core of One for All.
Yeah.
They've been inside of you this whole time. But now, after so many years, the core is starting to expand and move. What you saw between fluctuations. The reason for that is because One for All itself is growing inside you.
Wow.
What's going to happen?
This is cool.
Earlier, you were dead set on capturing that guy. It just so happens the best quirk for that is Black Whip, which belonged to me.
This is mad. He's gonna be able to use.
You get to meet yours truly first. Its quirk has evolved. Black Whip's got the might of One for All swirling within it, which means it's much stronger now than when it was mine. Listen well. If you use One for All in anger, the power will react to that feeling.
That's crazy, dude.
Is keeping tabs on your heart. Rage can be the source of incredible strength. But you need control, and not just over your body, but over your emotions as well. You'll have 6 more quirks manifest.
That's crazy. You can use them like and switch between them.
And master using those who live in this power. We're with you, kid.
Oh my god, he's gonna have an armory
You're the one who will complete One for All.
of different powers, and we're gonna see them all eventually. Oh man.
Are you okay?
Oh my gosh, you're hurt.
Oh god, he's still coming. He's still going for it.
This battle isn't over, Class A.
Art stuff that came out of him went crazy and ruined our strategy.
What was that just now?
There they are, trying to
The whole team's here now.
All right. Yep, it is a brawl. God.
What's important is keeping tabs on your heart.
I refuse to accidentally hurt anyone again.
Nice.
We need a plan, but there's too much to think about.
Especially with it being an all-out brawl with 5 against 5 people, you know.
All right. Let's wait. We'll see what happens.
What?
Okay, that continuing on.
This is far from over.
Jesus, man. No. That was a cool episode, man. Okay, episode 10, really, really cool. I didn't know how this match was gonna go, but I didn't think that, like, we were gonna get such, like, in-depth into the whole, like, Vestiges thing and One for All as a whole, like, almost kind of, like, cultivating in a way that is kind of, it's growing within inside him, and it has been this whole time, to a point where he's able to manifest the the previous predecessors' quirks. It's just, that's mad, man. That's crazy. That's really crazy. I wonder then what. So what? I don't know. What is it then that is All Might's? Like what? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is All Might's true? Like, you know what? Oh no, because he was a. Never mind. He was quirkless. That's right. Never mind. Let's just forget I said that. Yeah. So we didn't get like what like, you know, when he was the predecessor, but I think the idea is that because he is like quite, you know, you can see him very clearly that he must be one of the. I think he was the one just before All Might's predecessor, right? I believe so. I think that was Shimura's the previous one to her. So yeah, he is pretty like sort of far in the pecking order, I guess. But yeah, so his was Black Whip, which is perfect for capturing people, right? So now we know that, all right, Deku's got that in his arsenal now already. But I mean, I said that during the reaction, like he's going to have an arsenal eventually, of certain powers that I feel like are just going to be like varied and great for like certain situations. But it's not just that you know, eventually he's, because I'm guessing like over time there's, you know, it's gradually we're going to get it, you know. I feel like I don't know what Shimura's was. I don't know if that's just, you know what I mean, because it's a cultivation of power, and we already know that, you know. But it's like I guess the primary power behind it was sort of wind, right? So I wonder if that was Shimura's, if because it seems as though we're going back down, you know what I mean, back to the original. So everything, because, you know, as it's been passed on, you know, power is gradually being cultivated, that when we eventually like get back to, you know what I mean, like the when we get back to the original, I don't know how much more powerful that would be, you know, because then, I mean, is it also cultivating extra power in the passing on of quirks? You know what I mean? I don't know. But it's interesting that now, because then, I mean, I guess he can even, like, to the guy 9, right, who could kind of, like, he had, like, 9 quirks to choose from at any one time, that one guy, that it seems as though, depending on how much more of that sort of energy and power is cultivated all of the time, like, does that mean I don't know. Like, it seems ridiculous to even say this, but could you get to a point where, because that power has been cultivated over time and it's growing and becoming more and more powerful, that, like, he would be able to pass on the quirk, not just to one person, you know? I don't know if that's a possibility, but I'm just trying to think of what could be. But I think we're going back down, right? So I feel like because it's the most, it's sort of like the most closest in power, like that, you know, because Shimura wasn't that, you know, that long ago, really. That was passed on to All Might, who was quirkless. So, you know, it didn't take that into account. Essentially, what was happening there was whatever Nana Shimura just had, that was passed to All Might, and he inherited basically the same thing, and that was the same to Deku until now, which is where I feel like we go back over. So the first thing to manifest was the one before Shimura, which is the guy, you know what I mean, the beefy guy who's got that black whip power, and then we go down predecessor to predecessor all the way back, which is why the first two you can't see, because we'll eventually, like, once we get to that stage, that'll become more clear, and then we'll understand who they are. You know, I guess because we already know, I suppose, what the original had, so I don't know if, like, that's just going to be like a nothing thing, and really we're just looking at, like, the powers that Deku will have access to stop at the one after the original, right? Whoever the original passed to, whoever that guy is, right? But that's crazy. So the idea was that this would be passed on, and that it would get to the point that, you know, they're reaching the singularity point where this becomes this whole thing. Shimura had this thing where, you know, it was basically said to her that it's the time has not yet come. So it's not at that point yet, but now we're coming up to that kind of that singularity point where now it gets real. Now it gets real. And the thing is that it's affecting All For One as well, which is crazy, because I didn't even think that would be a possibility, that these memories and stuff that Deku is getting is also that All For One is also getting it. Because I guess when you think about it, the whole thing kind of came from All For One anyway, you know. He was the one that was able to pass on quirk, so if anyone's got any kind of connection to it, I suppose that All For One would. You know, and of course, I mean, that connection was, you know, it was always prevalent. But I just didn't know if that kind of thing would be the case. But now that, like, you know, memories and whatnot, like, are actually coming through, it is affecting All For One, which means I feel like his breakout is inevitable. I just don't know how far off that actually is. But I feel like the more we get into the sort of the vestiges and, like, One For All and all of that, the more kind of it's going to affect All For One. And I don't know if there's going to be somewhat similar of, like, just an explosion of power within him. I know that he's, like, in the way that he is sort of, you know, locked up, it's to sort of negate his powers and everything as well, isn't it, right? But I don't know if there is a, you know, like you said, like, if there is something similar to what just happened there with Deku, is, like, that just, like, sort of, I guess, almost like the pressure of, like, that explosive power of a quirk could possibly just negate all of what this this prison offers, you know, and he's just able to get out. There was one time though I was thinking that there will be a breakout at some point, but I didn't think it would be from the inside All For One's doing. I thought it would have been from the outside, involving the League of Villains or something like that. But we also have to remember this is the same prison, Tartarus, right, that Stain is in. And I remember talking, like, you know, somewhat at the back end of season 3 or something like that, saying that it would be interesting that if shit goes tits up at Tartarus, that Stain would also get out, because then you've got, you know, a return of a character that has always been an interesting one, and realistically he was kind of like sort of the start of that, you know, real League of Villains kind of, like, you know, like where basically he was the one that got, like, you know, the League of Villains to amass, like, all of these people that want to follow their cause and everything. So I don't know, but yeah, so it's affecting All For One. He's actually able to hear his brother's voice, so I don't know if All For One is also, like, someone who was waiting for this to occur. Like, it almost, like, I mean, the way that he talks anyway, it just feels like he knows where this is going almost, you know. So that's interesting. It's almost like ever since he was locked up, he's always had this just idea that he will be getting out. He's not going to just sit in here for the, like, you know what I mean? It's like he knew he would get out at some point. So I wonder if this is like, you know, by feeling this, it's almost like you know, the clock's starting to tick down now. Like, you know, he can sense that something's happening here, and it's going to end up in a breakout. I can see it. So what's next? I wrote down a lot of reasons why 1A can lose this match, and I mean, fucking hell, at the end of this episode, I just didn't know, but I guess they are continuing the match anyway, regardless, which I do like. So yeah, now I think that after what we just saw, I am more inclined to now be like, okay, this is a way forward for 1A. The use of this black whip couldn't have come at a better time, really, because this is a you know, these matchups were kind of made to either incapacitate or capture, and I feel like in terms of capturing this black whip with, you know, with One for All, like the power behind that feels like, all right, now there is a good chance that Deku's going to be doing a lot of capturing. So we will see. It's going to be battle of the wraps and the whips, isn't it? Really, with Shinso and his whips. And I mean, now it's like, I don't know. I love the fact that Shinso's quirk came in handy, like just the perfect thing that we needed was for him to basically go unconscious because shit was getting out of control, and Shinso's quirk there was to be used in a way that is completely the opposite of what happened at the sports festival, you know, and it worked so perfectly in tandem with like that idea of Shinso. He wants to use his quirk to be able to help people, and this was the perfect opportunity, you know, somebody that is out of control with their quirk, to send them unconscious in that sort of big, by brainwashing them, is perfect. So I like the fact that came through. It was really, really good. You could see like the happiness on his face as well. Like this is like the first real time that he's been able to use his quirk like for true good, you know. So I like that. I like the fact that Ochako immediately jumped in as well with no hesitation, and she was the one that initially, like, pretty much saved Deku at that point. She's the one that called out for Shinso, knowing that this could work. So yeah, that was really cool. No hesitation. We even got, like, you know, a bit of a flashback with her. I mean, we know that we've seen that before, like in episode 9 of season 2, I believe, where she was saying like her reasons for I think it was that. It could have been a bit earlier in the season, but there was one time where we saw the reasons why, and it was kind of like a funny sort of, I guess, you know, slash sweet thing where she was saying that she was doing it for the money, but it was because so that she could help out her parents and everything like that. And there was some things that did obviously remain true with the flashback and this one, where it all ties back to her parents, really. You know, she was more sort of enthralled with the idea of how her parents were reacting to a heroic deed rather than the heroic deed itself. You know, that she loves her parents so much that's the most important thing to her. So yeah, and then also like that idea of, like, you know, she was like wondering that those people who go out of their way to save people and everything like that, what about the person that has to save the person who saves everyone? You know what I mean? Like, who's there to pick up that? And yeah, that was great. So I wonder if that's going to be her thing. Really, it's going to be like, you know, very supportive, and we'll see that going forward, I'm sure. But yeah, oh yeah. So another thing with the one dude, whoever his name was, we didn't get him. Whoever the predecessor was, right? Whatever his name was. He was talking about it as like One for All almost acts in tandem with Deku's feelings. So the reason why it really, really got out of control there and broke is because Deku at that time really, like, got, you know, he got angry, got a bit enraged, the idea that Monomow and what he was talking about in regards to Bakugo and the symbol of peace and everything like that, like it just took him over that edge there, and One for All responded with this black whip that had manifested at that time, and it just really got out of control real quickly. I thought I was just, yeah, that's really cool. That was really cool. So it's something that he needs to keep in mind, keep his emotions and feelings intact, because I think that is going to be interesting going forward, because what we have seen in terms of Deku, every single time, without fail, it's always been like, you know what I mean, like he's acted purely like out of like rage a lot of the time. I would probably say like maybe like the only one that you could say not, I guess, would have been against Overhaul, right? Because the priority was to save Eri, and he did that, you know. So the feelings there were different, but you know, I think rage and anger does sort of find its way up at the top in terms of priority. I mean, it's not really a priority thing, but the idea is that like when Deku is fighting, that emotion tends to crop up more often than not, and therefore it's going to be interesting to see going forward how Deku actually responds to having to now keep his, you know, his emotions in check in a big moment. So we'll see. But yeah, I feel like Black Whip's going to be perfect for especially like this matchup anyway, because the idea of capturing them all, Black Whip will do that. So yeah, so other than that Black Whip, he says that there are 6 other quirks that will manifest over the course of time. So that's going to be really cool to see those when they do manifest, and see what other weapons in his armory he's going to have. So yeah, really cool. Yeah, so in terms of, I guess, the class, 1B, their quirks. So you've got Yanagi, which I thought was funny because her hero name is Emily. And in terms of a poltergeist, like, I feel like I don't know if that's like, that's got to be a reference to something like Emily Rose or something like that, right? Surely. I do like that though. This show does like have a lot of references. A lot of them tend to be Star Wars and stuff, but I do like that though. So yeah, here's the poltergeist one. Able to maneuver items and all of that would equate to around around a human body weight. So that's kind of her limitation at the moment right now. But yeah, I mean, I did say that in the last episode when I did get, like, you know, because obviously like the little tag came up at the very top in the last episode, it said poltergeist. I did say, like, is that just what it is, that she's able to control things with her, you know, with her mind and everything? And yeah, that was true. Shoda, who has the twin impact, that was the one that I just didn't even know what that would be. His quirk actually was useful in many regards. That he's able to basically impact things with things that he's touched, but also things that he has touched can hit a second time, and that's where the twin comes in. And the second one is actually much harder. I think in some ways it's kind of similar to Deku's souls that he had, that basically help him out. That we've seen that when he hits something, it kind of it jolts back and forward, adding that extra sort of pressure and almost like a second one to make the attack more powerful. It's almost similar to that one. So it's also almost similar to that, but obviously in quirk form. But also he was using it as a sort of like a GPS as well, which is interesting. I don't think that's part of his quirk, but I don't know if, you know, he has, you know, support items of his own, if he has, like, you know, tracking devices and everything like that he ties to things that he's, you know, that he's looking to touch, so that he can, you know, essentially attack from distance, know where everything is, and yeah, so I think that was pretty cool. And then Kodai, who has the size quirk, so she can change the size of inanimate objects, not living people, which, I mean, that would be interesting if she could do that, but, you know, she can't. You know, but what we saw here was that it was being used in small doses, like, you know, changing things to small, but it wasn't actually stated that it was just small, like she could change things to small. So I assume she can make things, you know, bigger and whatnot, which could come in handy, and we could see in the next episode. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know. I think we've we've pretty much covered that. It was insane. At one point, I thought that it seemed like, you know, that it was going to be called off, but you know, but quick thinking of, you know, Ochako jumping in, telling Shinso to, you know, to basically use his quirk on him and send him unconscious. Basically, give that time. You know, for the teachers to run in and make sure everything was okay, and Deku was back, you know, to his normal self. So they were like, all right, you know, it's we're going to carry this on. And you know, interestingly enough, I think it's more so that like Aizawa is. It seemed as though Aizawa was very keen to keep the match going for Shinso's sake. That's what it seemed like to me, which is nice, you know. So yeah, I'm glad that Shinso got his moment anyway to feel like he was using his quirk for truly, like, you know, for something good, you know, to rescue someone who was in trouble there, even if it was, you know, like temporarily he was on, you know, the other side. But I like that. I just like the switch of how, you know, it was completely the opposite from them in the sports festival, and now it's a good switch around. So I like that. So yeah, anyway, that is all I've got. So amazing episode. I can't wait to get into the next one. Like I said, I think it's poised now more towards the idea that Class 1A can do something. I feel like, you know, I didn't know what to expect before this match started. And the lack of confidence I had with the other Class 1A members has dwindled a bit in terms of Ochako. I think she's ready to you know, to step up. She already has, but I think, you know, she's ready to carry that on for this match, and we'll see what Mina and Mineta can get up to as well. But yeah, I think with Deku's like Black Whip and everything, and learning on the fly, he may have some issue with it, like trying to get grasp of, you know, like the control of how it's going to work, you know. But I think that it could go either way. It could be a very close call. So we'll see. We'll wait and we'll find out. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I've linked certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of tiers and rewards there, like early access. That gives you access to shows a week early. There's the full length tier, which gives you access to all of my reactions in, you know, the full full length. And then there's the exclusive tier, which gives you access to full length movie reactions and everything like that. I've just recently finished Fate, the Fate Heaven's Feel movies, which were absolutely unbelievable. If you haven't seen them and you haven't even gotten to the Fate series, I would strongly recommend them, because I think they are absolutely incredible. And also the movie to Demon Slayer will be out relatively soon as well, so look out for that. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.